Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our inspirational interview series. I'm Hannah Levin from Heartfelt Wellbeing, and I'm super excited to introduce our guest today. I do want to remind you all that we are live here in Facebook right now, but this will also be shared on YouTube, and you're welcome to check out these interviews as a replay. If you're watching them on Facebook replay, give us a hashtag replay so we know you've been here and let us know your questions and feedback. And if you're here with us live, we'll wait for some folks to come on here. Nobody's here yet, but feel free to chime in with questions along the way. Here they come. So our guest today is Nikita, and she is a mindset business coach and host of the podcast, She's Crafted to Thrive. Doesn't that podcast sound just super empowering? She was diagnosed with endometriosis in 2009 and fibromyalgia in 2010. These diagnoses inspired her to use the training she received from previous jobs to jumpstart her career as a business coach. Nikita learned that having a chronic illness did not limit her potential. In fact, it helped her see the possibilities for herself and for her clients. Her coaching method incorporates psychoaromatherapy, EFT, and strategy to help her clients have a complete life and business transformation. Her aim is to help all creative women, especially those who have a chronic illness, to share their stories without feeling shame or feeling incapable, and to motivate these brilliant women to use their story as fuel so they can be successful, create the life they deserve, and most importantly, thrive. So I'm super excited to welcome Nikita to Inspirational Interviews, and here she is. Hello.
Hey, hi, thank
Thanks.
you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today. I'm really excited to have this conversation with you. So I just read a little bit about you, but can you tell us a little bit more about your story and how you came to be who you are today?
I love that question because it's one of those, it's one of those things I always tell people like life is so up and down and there is not like a one path. And if someone had told me this was the path I would be on 10 years ago, I would have been like, you're crazy. Who are you talking about? So for me, I feel like my journey shifted the most from living with chronic illness and kind of being this very not so positive place that I used to live in my mind and in my body, when a really good friend reached out to me who had gone through some of the similar things that I had gone through and was telling me like, look, there's hope. There's other ways to manage this. And at the time when she reached out to me, she was using essential oils. And I thought it was hilarious. Honestly, I'm not even going to kid. I was like, I'm getting like real pain meds, like quote unquote, real pain
Right.
meds. So you think some bath salts oil stuff is going to help this? I don't think so. And so she's like, I know it's crazy. You probably don't even realize that they're this powerful, but let's just work together and see if this is going to help. And at that point, I was really desperate and was just like, I'll
Mm.
try anything. I'll try anything. And essential oils became a huge part of my journey to healing inside out. I tell people all the time,
Mm.
like, it's a journey of really inside out. What we experience physically is to me just a manifestation of what's going on inside.
Yeah.
And that was a huge shift for me. I just remember the first time she sent me this blend. Of course, you need to do spotch testing and making sure everything's safe and everything was good. But the first time I used the essential oils for pain, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, wait a minute. 15 minutes later, I was like, I don't feel like I need to go to the hospital. I
Mm.
don't feel like I'm like out of control. Like, when you're in discomfort and you're in a lot of pain, you feel, besides the pain, you feel really powerless.
Yeah.
And, that feeling, if you've experienced it for a long time, though, so experience, like, I was like, wait a minute, I can just have all these little bottles of things around me that can support me inside out. I just thought it was amazing. And so that became, I feel like tell people that's the journey that started my healing journey to
Mm.
thriving to where I am today. And it's the thing that is incorporated in everything I do now. Essential oils is a
Mm.
huge part of that. Um, Mindset work and all of those beautiful things that come along with that is a really big part of my journey.
So before this friend introduced you to essential oils, were you pretty much like Western medicine all the way? Like you hadn't really explored what we call alternative
Well,
therapies, or
yes
had
and
you?
no. I had
Mhm.
explored other therapies, but I feel like there are, like we were talking about this a little bit before the show, like you are very gentle in talking about how we heal. And I
Mm.
like through all of the good things of the earth and all of those good things. And then there was a time in my journey, which like you had mentioned, 2009, I feel like there was this health craze that was a little bit fanatic, like a little bit
Mm.
not gentle, like it, not even a little bit. It wasn't gentle, and so the methods that I was introduced to and the things that were given to me felt very extreme, felt very actually added to my pain and
Mm.
discomfort and like mindset. It wasn't empowering, and so I did that for about a year or two, about 2 years of just trying different things, and they just never felt like a fit. They never felt like a
Mm.
fit, and they also felt very not gentle. I guess that's the best way I can say it.
Mhm.
Just wasn't very gentle for a person who's already feeling very overwhelmed, already
Yeah.
feeling with all of the things, right?
Right.
So when she came in, of course, I had that very skeptic thought process, of course, because I had that history. But she also was a friend that I've known for a very long time.
Mm.
And she knew me personally, and she also knew my grandmother, who me and my grandmother were like this. So
Mm.
she also had that little bit of extra trust factor in that for me. I always tell people she was definitely an answer to my prayers,
Mm.
because if anyone else had said that to me, I would be
Yeah.
like, deuces, like,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever. Like it would not even have been anything for me.
Mhm.
And I may still be in that same place,
Mhm.
but I'm fortunate and so thankful that I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, we have those little angels that come along and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
there's another reality over here." So,
Yeah.
tell us what an essential oil is.
Yeah. So the simplest way I like to tell people that essential oils are the life essence of a plant.
Mm.
So our life essence in a way as physical bodies, blood is what keeps our all the things flowing and moving and working. And that's the same thing for a plant. They have a life blood, and it's the essence of that plant. So it could be part of the plant, of the leaf, it could be the petal, it could be anything of that plant that is can actually be harvested um, safely. And so it's really just the life essence of a plant.
Okay. And I know there's some different processes
Oh yeah.
through which they're created.
Yes, there's distillation. There's distillation is just a process of, I can get really geeky with this and I don't want to because not everybody's going to get that.
Okay.
But it's just one of the ways that the oils are used. Most often are done with distillation, which is a pressing and a water and all this molecules reaching and filling. It's a very long process. It's not
Mhm.
It takes a
Right.
long time. If you ever go to a distillery of essential oils, you'll see like it takes
It's a big
a
process.
it's a big process. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, tell us how, or like what are some introductory things to know about essential oils? Or
Yeah. So essential oils are so powerful because we are from the earth. So they are really intended to blend with us really well. Essential oils are a great way to help your body get into working in harmony with your body, like with what's happening around it. It helps get your body back into flow in a lot of different ways. And it really starts from your lungs and your mind, like in your brain. Essential oils have a huge effect on, hence why the term aromatherapy. It's literally the physical therapy of the body and the mind. That's literally what aromatherapy is, and essential oils is that. And so it affects how we think, how we feel, how our body works. So let's take, for example, lavender. Everyone knows lavender. Everyone knows, like, you put it on your pillow, it makes you sleep well, and all those different kind of things. But lavender has different components and constituents that actually are already a part of our body. And our body will see that and know what to do with that when it's introduced in such a highly concentrated way. So I always like to say, like, essential oils is kind of like adding it to a part of adding it to your body, and your body's not going to be confused. Like, it's going to know exactly what to do with it because it already exists. Unlike Western medicine and things like that, it's trying to figure out what to do with this. It's like, okay, lots of side effects, lots of other things are happening because it's not natural to the body. And essential oils very much works in conjunction and in harmony with the body. So essential oils are really a great way to help your healing along with other modalities. It's a really great way to get your body in like alert that, hey, we're working to work and fix this thing that's might be going on, especially when it comes to anxiety and discomfort and hormonal imbalances, things like that. Essential oils can also be can help you balance your hormones. It can also affect your hormones in a negative way, depending on what type of oil it is, because of having like a mimicking effect of different hormones that we have. That's how much they are so much like a part of our bodies already. So they're really powerful in a way to help you heal and get in the mind space to do it at the same time. So it's really a beautiful synergy between the body and the mind working together.
That's so lovely. Yeah. So talk to us about using essential oils for chronic illness. I know there's a lot out there of like chronic illness is chronic, you're stuck with it. This is something I try to change the mindset about all the time too. Like, it can change, but
it can change. So I always like to tell it from my personal experience of using essential oils, because everyone's different and everyone's experience in their bodies are different. And so is how we respond to certain essential oils.
Yes,
like I always tell my friend, the friend that reached out to me, we have such funny experiences. The oils that work magnificently for her are oils that I'm like, they don't do nothing. They do nothing. So it really is about getting to know and being really linked to your body, really listening to your body. But for me, before essential oils, I was often in the hospital or the doctor's visits, like at least 3 or 4 times a month, like just on a regular. And when I started incorporating essential oils, that slowly started happening, like dwindling down to maybe once or twice a year.
Oh, wow.
So you take it from someone who's been like, I'm always at the doctor's office and I'm always at the hospital too. And literally within a year period of time, essential oils help me not be in that place. And so what I attribute to that is that there are certain blends that work really well with certain chronic illnesses and certain bodies, and for me, it's really the way my body works. It's very sensitive. Like if I get my blood work and it's like off by a point, I know my body's very sensitive. It just knows. And I love that about me because it lets me pay attention, lets me know what's going on. And so with essential oils, because they are a very beautiful synergizing way of your mind and body working together, I can tell instantly when a blend is going to work and when it's not. Once applying it or inhaling it, usually it's inhalation that I use it a lot. So inhalation of essential oils is just breathing it in, a diffuser or aromatic inhaler. They look like I wish I had one over here. They look like little lipstick tubes, or some people say they look like tampons, but they're not. And they help you. Essential oils are very volatile. So they're just getting into your lungs and your bloodstream, and it just helps calm things down. And when you're chronic pain, 9 times out of 10, it's inflammation. It's just
Yeah.
what it is. Like, and literally these oils are intended to calm inflammation. They are
Mhm.
there to help and support you in that kind of crises, especially if you have it chronically. So for me, essential oils really was able to help me bring a level like 7 or 9 of pain down to number 3, which to me, that's a huge healing. Like, that's I mean, like, there's no, like, every time I talk about it, I get goosies because I'm like, there's
Yeah.
nothing, unless you take me to the hospital and I'm like taking some really strong thing that knocks me out. I'm unconscious in some way. Like, that's the only way that I can get to that level of pain,
Mm.
relief. But with essential oils, I can get there with literally a 1 or 2 drop blend in
Wow.
15 minutes. So it
Mhm.
really is about helping you from a standpoint of fighting inflammation. So a lot of chronic pain, as I
Mhm.
mentioned, is inflammation. And it's helping your body figure out what to do with that and how to calm it
Mhm.
down.
Yeah.
And the other piece of that is just the mind. The
Mhm.
mind creates a lot of consequences of pain. And so sometimes the pain isn't really that bad, but because of how we believe or how we feel about it, and it's such a hard thing we've dealt with chronic pain, we can tend, and the word is not exaggerate. The word is like, it's just very prevalent in our mind. It's very prevalent. And it creates stress. And stress,
Mhm.
again, is kind of like another inflammation trigger. So
Yeah.
essential oils in your brain helps you bring that down. So
Mhm.
not only are you feeling empowered, not only are you feeling like safe and like
Mhm.
soothed, your mind feels freer. And
Mhm.
that is how essential oils have helped me with chronic pain.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love how you talk about that too. It very much aligns with Ayurveda in the understanding that everybody is their own unique universe, right? There's not a one size fits all. Like Western medicine is definitely designed to be like, you have this diagnosis. Now here's the protocol. It doesn't matter your age, your
Right.
like your body build, your tendencies. I mean, like any of these
Yeah.
things, right? It's just like here's the prescription. And Ayurveda really looks at everybody uniquely. And I love that you shared that, that everybody is not going to be like, oh, this, then this. It's like,
Mhm.
who are you and what do you need? And how does your body react to these things? And what are the kind of ruminating things that happen in your mind? What are the
Yeah.
stories you tell yourself, right? And
Yeah.
all of those tendencies lead towards a remedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I love that awareness, and Ayurveda. I mean, people are like, what's Ayurveda? I mean, Ayurveda originated in India, but Ayurveda is what works. It's the science of life, right? So
Mhm.
like as we expand into, our modern day understandings of aromatherapy or chronobiology or any of these new sciences that have
Yeah.
all been around for a long time, we're just
Right.
understanding them in the context of Western science now.
Yeah.
This is Ayurveda too.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, it's such a good point that you mentioned, because when we think about Western medicine, this is something I learned when I was studying and getting my certification with essential oils. It just clicked with me. And I was like, oh, I mean, modern medicine today has taken a lot of what we use in aromatherapy and essential oils as the smallest piece of what they create in order to create medications.
Hmm.
But the medications are not fully using the power of essential oils. They put all these other synthetic things and all these other
Mhm.
pieces and components. But ultimately, most of these drugs are coming from the very place that we should really be focusing our time in, which is the earth.
Right.
So it's like even modern science and Western medicine specifically understands that plants and the earth has a direct effect on how our bodies work. It's just not as profitable. Like I always tell
Yeah.
people, it's just not as profitable. And it's not as easy to, like I said, it can take 6 months to distill a bottle of lavender
Mm-hmm.
just by itself. So it's not something that's fast manufactured. It's not easy. So it's something that we don't hear a lot about, and we're not always empowered to know about it. Yeah.
Well, and it requires the user to do something, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to, have times that you do the aromatherapy, right? It's
Yeah.
not
And
just
aromatherapy, best, I tell people, it's just like a vitamin. It's
yeah.
best to use essential oils as a preventative, as a
Mm-hmm.
nurturing part of your healing journey of your everyday. Just like you wake up in the morning and maybe take a vitamin or have a glass of tea or a cup of tea, essential oils needs to be a part of that journey as well. It works way better actually in the preventative method than trying
Mm-hmm.
to catch up with it. It does
Yeah.
help. It takes a little bit longer, but if you learn how to incorporate essential oils daily in
Mm.
your routine, you will see the effects long term.
So tell us about some specific essential oils that would be helpful
Yeah.
for us to know about.
So one of my favorite oils, if you're asking me, my clients, is Roman chamomile. It is just a beautiful oil for most people. Most people love it. Some people think it's a little too sweet in the aroma. So,
Mm.
pairing it with another like a lavender or ylang ylang. Um, the oil, specifically Roman chamomile, has beautiful properties. It has anti-inflammatory, it has analgesic, which means pain blocking. It has a grounding effect. So it's so many beautiful things that for chronic people who are dealing with chronic pain and discomfort, it is one of those powerful blends. One of the powerful oils to use in pretty much whatever blend you're making. And it's chamomile. So it is safe generally for anyone. It's one of those safer essential oils for most people. And so that's one that I usually tell anyone who's wanting to find a little bit more comfort and grounding and like with themselves, and also just like that pain blocking experience, to try Roman chamomile. It's just a beautiful oil. And it's fairly inexpensive. It works really well when you combine it with another like synergizing oil, like lavender. So lavender and Roman chamomile are beautiful together. Also, they're very calming. So if you have trouble sleeping at night, I tell people do not, and this is a safety thing. I'm a big safety person just because of learning everything I've learned about essential oils. Is like, yes, they're from the earth, but too much of, pumpkin can make you go to the bathroom so bad. Like there's certain things you need to be careful. And the same thing with the essential oils is that some blends you want to be careful with. Less is more. They're so powerful. Like
Mm.
one drop of lemon essential oils is like 60 lemons. Why
Mm.
would you want to put 3 or 4 drops of that into a cup of water?
Mm.
Not good. Um, just thinking about how acidic that would
Mm.
be to your esophagus and your liver. Like it's still going through your body. So just be really careful with how you use oils. But lavender and Roman chamomile, and another oil that's really grounding is myrrh. I love
Mm.
myrrh. We all hear about this a lot in the Bible. We think, oh, it's such a spiritual grounding blend, but it's also rubefacient, which means warming. So if you have like a cold or you have a hard time going to sleep, the blend of lavender, Roman chamomile, and myrrh, you will go to sleep. You will go to sleep. I would say put 2 drops of each in a diffuser and diffuse only for an hour, um, and turn the diffuser off. You will have the benefits of that for the rest of the night. There's no need to have a diffuser running all night, safety wise, because it's like, again, it's about the exposure of how much is in the air. It gets into your bloodstream and it stays there for about 2 to 3 hours. And that's what you want to get yourself to go to sleep. So
Mm.
those are the 3 that I like talk about all the time because they're just my favorites. Everybody, everybody's body is different. So there are so
Mhm.
many different blends that you can create that if that's not great, if that's not as powerful for you, might need a bigger POW, a much more stronger, probably more expensive oil. Like maybe if lavender doesn't do it for you anymore, rose oil will do a great job. It has just some components and constituents in it that helps lift the synergy between Roman chamomile and myrrh, but rose is a very expensive oil. So it's just about finding what works for you.
Mm-hmm. So when you're working with a client, do you do some like testing to see what they respond to?
Yeah. So I find, again, learning a lot about my clients, like what they already do in their normal habitat of life and what they're drawn to, usually is the way that I blend and make oils. I would say that 90% of the time I get all the information I need from them, which is a questionnaire or form of like things they like to eat, smells that they don't like, things that they're allergic to, maybe some things that they're working on, or what smells and aromas in general make them feel happy and uplifted. Because if those blends or those aromas smell that way, they will have the same effect internally for your body, calming, uplifting, all of those different things. And since I know about the different synergies and components, I usually am pretty good intuitively to create a blend and that they love it. I've had one client recently who loved it, but it wasn't powerful enough. So we needed to up the dilution between the two, the oils and the carrier oil. But yeah, it's really about getting to know the person, because there's not one blend that works the same for every person.
So in terms of working with essential oils for chronic illness, it's really an individual path with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no magic pill, you guys. Because even if you talk to women who are living with chronic pain, our experience with that pain is very different. You know, I have endometriosis, and if someone were to look at my like past surgery and pictures of what's going on, and they would be like, that's not enough endometriosis to cause that much pain. But for me, it was. It was like, stop the bus. And then you have some women who have a very invasive amount of endometriosis and they feel nothing, right? They don't even know it's there. So the bodies are just so different, and it would make sense why our approach, like you were talking about, would be very, very personalized according to the person. And it's like, there's no one size fits all. I would also say, especially when it comes to chronic illness, a lot of the research out there from Western medicine is on white male men, not women. So it's like, we're already at a stalemate there. Like we're already kind of out of whack. So I really do believe that part of your healing journey needs to be with someone who understands that you yourself are unique, and how you respond to different things will be different, and be okay with that. Like there's nothing wrong with you if this does not work. Maybe we just need to try something else.
We're coming to the end of our time, which is, it goes so fast. But I did want to ask you specifically about taking them internally versus externally. I have been so not interested in putting essential oils in my mouth. And yet I know there's a lot of stuff coming out, even capsules of essential oil and things. And yeah, putting it in water, as you were mentioning with the lemon essential oils. Can you talk a little bit about your perspective? I just shared mine.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're so right. So let me not get on my soapbox for this. Let me try to not.
You can get on your soapbox. You're welcome to do that.
Yeah, I think, here's the thing. That idea of using essential oils like in a cup of water or in your bathtub even, that comes from all of these really big corporate companies. Like these companies are not in it for health wise, they're in it for money, you guys. Like I don't know how else to say this. It's just like, it's money driven, because even when they're sharing how many drops of oils and that you should be doing something so many times so you can reorder in a period of time, it kind of goes completely against the way essential oils will work. they best work in like absorbing into your bloodstream through inhalation, literally, because of the volatile nature of essential oils. There are like so many reasons not to do that first. Like I do know in the community of aromatherapy, there are some practitioners who will do the capsules, but it is on a very rare occurrence. It's because they're really trying to fight a very strong, like a really big outbreak of something, or something that's really going on with the body. It needs that kind of attention, but it's so sparing that it's like, it's not the blog post that you hear that's like, yes, every day in the morning I put in my cup of water or my cup of tea, this oil and that oil. Like, it's just not safe. Literally, it can burn the inside of your mouth, your esophagus. Like, if you ever look up a chemical oil burn, you will never want to do that. Like, you'll never want to put essential oils in your cup ever again. And yes, it's a thing that people say you can do, but doesn't mean it's safe for you. It doesn't mean it's safe for you. And I always say that if you are going to do that, do it with a professional, like someone who has been certified and knows how it will respond and what to do if that happens. So there are a lot of people out there doing this and something happens and they don't know how to help that, or if like they don't even realize it's coming from the essential oils, because this world of aromatherapy is telling you that it's okay. But aromatherapy is not governed by the FDA in the way that Western medicine is. And again, it's just a very big corporate thing. So it's, I am with you. Do not put it in your cup of tea.
Okay, good.
Do not put it in your water. Do not put it in a capsule unless you are directed by a natural practitioner or a doctor. Literally, like, do not do that on your own. That's I'm gonna leave that there.
Okay. I'm glad you have that perspective too. And what do you have a brand or two that you recommend that people
I don't.
use?
So I don't give any brands out on purpose because of the fact of, like I said, there's so many out there. But here's what you want to look for when you're getting your essential oils. You want to make sure that they're wild harvested, that they're organic, and that you can find out the CGS report. So the CGS report is letting you know, where are these oils coming from? Like, where is this plant coming from? What is the chemistry makeup of a plant? So, for example, lavender has a different makeup from Bulgaria versus India, right? There's a different chemical makeup of that oil and the amount of whatever is in there. So you want to be able to pull those reports. So really just be careful. Most of the times, if you can buy it off of Amazon, like, and it's cheap, it's probably not great. And if you go to Walmart or Target, it's probably not wild harvested or organic, just so you know.
Okay, those are some good guidelines. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This is so interesting, and thank you so much for sharing with us. Can you share a little bit about where folks can find you if they want to?
Well, thank you so much, Hannah, for having me on. And this is so fun. I don't always just get to talk about essential oils. Usually it's business and essential oils, but I love it. You can find me at Thrive with Nikita. That is my business name. And as we mentioned at the very beginning, my podcast is called She's Crafted to Thrive. And we're just talking to women who are living with chronic pain and emotional pain, physically, emotionally, and just showing up how we all are and doing what we can in our own awesome sauce. So Thrive with Nikita, and She's Crafted to Thrive.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing your wisdom with us today, and we'll all get to try out some new essential oils, maybe some Roman chamomile.
Yes.
Sounds good. Thanks so much. Take care.
Thank you.